All right, let's do this. Oh man. Now, I don't want to do this. I hate to do it because it just really irritates me to my core. Because it's different when you know the situation or you know the people in the situation. It's a whole different experience for you because you're like, wow, it's easy if you're on the outside and you don't know anybody. It's different. Now, in this scenario, it's a little surprising and shocking that she still is this way. Now, for you all who just got here, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, just follow the banner, okay? Tyisha Hampton, who used to be Tyisha Mitchell, is Kel Mitchell's ex-wife, his first wife. I remember before they got married, when he met her, and he brought her home for the first time, and we met her. And it was his birthday party, and we met her, and she was wonderful. She was gonna hook me up with a Cali girl. She's friends with Megan Fox, Ricky Bell from New Edition, his wife. She was friends with a lot of people, and she's a Pasadena girl. Now, she kept saying she was gonna hook me up with a Cali girl, and I'm like, cool. Everything was good, and you seen no problems there. Then all of a sudden, it was like 1,000 changes in once. You know, changes in Kale's demeanor. He was not the same type of person he was. It was like he was being protective of something, like he felt people were coming after him or he was untrusting, I would say. And this wasn't just towards like me, he was untrusting with like anybody. He was different, he was changing. He was becoming more snappy, even at his own family. He was becoming someone that he wasn't, you know, supposed to be, and or that was not his character at all. He was just so protective all the time, and other people was assuming something's wrong, but because of Kel's celebrity status at the time, and people were seeing him on TV, they just say, "Oh well, Kel's happy. He's happy on TV." Then he would come here by himself for business or something. And I remember we rode together, and he was having problems on the show, and he was requesting these things. And he, like I told you, he was in a group with his best friend Fred and my cousin. So they were all in a rap group, and his best friend was leaving the group. Like, I'm out. I'm out the group. Just like that. So he was going through a lot of different changes at this time. Like, he was more incorporating what she wanted to do more than what he wanted to do. And she was in total control of everything. Now, she was basically running the ship, directing the ship. He added her to the group, and a whole list of new people to the group. My cousin was there, he was there, and his wife is now a member of the group. And they got an R&B guy named Romaine, and somebody that used to be her ex-boyfriend was into the group. He was implemented into the group as everyone else. Now, I heard the demo. And my cousin was in the group, of course. Heard the demo. The demo was good. It was good enough to really be an album. They spent some money. And I'm like, man, y'all spent some money on this album. Like, they produced the whole album. And I'm like, why these songs didn't come out? Like what was wrong? None of the records came out. Kel was going to produce the album himself, put all of it out himself, and it was like everything he was doing was to make her a star. He was sacrificing his own career to help her become famous, help her be a star. He started his own production company, started producing his own like mini like sketch comedies and stuff. And he didn't really have the budget and have everything together yet. But it was a smart idea to do these little sketch comedy sketch things. But when you had clashed with so many people in the industry, or at least one person, they could make your life a living hell in the industry. And she was right there with it. So he made a feature movie called, I believe, Made, if I'm not mistaken. Cat Williams is in it. And he put his wife as the lead character in the movie. Her terrible acting skills in this film basically almost torpedoed the film right away. Um, it's, I wouldn't say it's unwatchable. It's just that when you see it, it's just like, this looked like a BET play more than an actual film. So definitely it's one that needs to be changed or redone. If it was reshot, I think it would probably be a great movie. But let's get to the gist of all of this and what was going on in between. So this is from the outside looking in. You're hearing all of this from me being on the outside. This is what was me seeing all of this transpire. Now at this time, I spoke to Kel's wife more than I spoke to Kel. I would speak to Tyisha more than I would speak to Kel because she would answer the phone and I would end up in a conversation with her because Kel wouldn't be there. And then we'll get into a conversation and she says, oh, well, he'll call you back and this and this. And he wouldn't do it or he'll be too busy. So I'm not somebody that's waiting for the phone. If I call somebody, I got a reason to call them. I just don't call people just to be calling them. That's not what I do. So when I called them, I had a reason. So me and her spoke, and she had liked the idea and all of this stuff because they were going to do an event that was, you know, a car company, was it Chevrolet or Buick, Ford, whatever. They was promoting at some event, and I'm like, man, y'all could perform here, and y'all can get in contact with the guy. I can put y'all in contact with him, and y'all could be paid to come out and do a show and an event for the kids and everything. Like, this is where I live and stay, is like basically where the money is. So it's like, dude, you're gonna get paid. You're gonna do a show out here. They're gonna love it. They can book you. I'm like, what is the problem? Talk to the guy. And then she said, okay, well, I'm gonna talk to Kel about it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if this person ever communicated with Kel anything that I actually said to her or anything that was going on, because I found out that this person lies a lot, pathologically. Now, Kel will never speak really ill of his wife in public, his ex wife, because they have children together. They have two children together. And he never wants to do that no matter what relationship they have. But all of this news that came out today about her claims about Nick Cannon being in a cheerleader outfit, trying to cheer her husband up because Kel up because jumping on the bed in a cheerleading outfit because Kel was depressed because he cheated on her and all this stuff is probably in her head a fantasy. I mean, I couldn't see that happening, but whatever happened, she's taking it way out of context on purpose. This is a woman. All you got to do is go back in history. Just not even that far. Just go back. This is a woman that claims that Kel was abusive to her. Kel Mitchell was the abuser in their relationship. This woman claims that he keeps violating, he's abandoned his children. They were married for 10 years and it didn't work out. All, and because she wanted a divorce, that was absolutely done, and she wouldn't allow him to cheat on her. And he said he would make her life miserable, and definitely tried to make her life miserable. He abused me physically, mentally. He continues to abuse me and my children financially, committing financial abuse by continuously refusing to pay anything. Oh my God. He wants me to stop talking about my life, but it's a free country and my First Amendment right. Oh my God. Let me tell you something. Kel had to file against her. He filed a domestic violence order against her. He didn't want to. He felt he had to. I found out all of the missing pieces as to what was going on in his life and why he was pushing people away. He didn't want people to see how messed up his life really was. He wanted people to still have that image of him being the guy who was on TV, who had it together, it was fun. He didn't want people to see the reality of the hell he was living in. This is why he was pushing people away. She was controlling the phone calls. She was controlling everything in his life. It got to the point where she was representing him. Her problem in the situation is that she was cheating. She was allegedly taking drugs. She was doing all of these things. Kel's not going to say this stuff because, like I told you, he has children. And I did not communicate with Kel to make this video at all. I'm saying it because as soon as I saw that, it was like enough's enough. These lies from Tyisha cannot continue to go on without somebody saying something. Kel bent over backwards for that woman, and she knows it. Her and her parents made Kel feel basically like he wasn't worthy enough for her. And she always would throw in the face that because she went to prom with the Ravens cornerback at that time. She used to date him in high school. They went to high school together. They went on prom. And then once he signed a $60 million contract, that's when she was, oh, and kept throwing it like, I could have been with him in his face, like he's not there. It's very disrespectful. She used to keep that photo of her prom, of her and him, in their house, in a frame. That's disrespectful to me. That's like saying you still want to be with that guy. Tyisha got pregnant by somebody who was an ex-boyfriend, allegedly, in the group, who basically was on the payroll. While they were married, she was pregnant with another child that wasn't Kel's. He was filming Like Mike 2, and she walked in there in Canada and told him she was pregnant from another guy's child. She would get up, leave the house, abandon her children, never tell Kel where she's going, then come back to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. She would just get up and go. Wouldn't answer her phone, nothing. And she had 2 children at home. She would just get up and go. Then she come back home like she's partied out, smelling like weed, everything. She tried to run Kel over because he stood in front of the car like, you're not going out tonight. You stay at home. You going out every night doing this. She tried to run him over like he really had to dive out of the way because she was going to run him over to get out of there so she can go kick it. So to hear Tyisha tell these lies, it's just like, enough's enough, Tyisha. Enough's enough. Kel bent over backwards for you. He had ostracized a lot of people in his family. And now that he's moved on with a wife that really loves him, and you see him in a better place, and he's not broken, and he still is doing things positive in his life, you want to find a way to tear all that down. You want to find a way to try to hurt that man because you're not there or you're not getting money from that man that you feel that you need. Because that's all it was about for you. Fame and money. I'm sad for the children because you're their mother and they should never have to. They probably have heard the majority of this already now that they're older, but they should have never had to endure this situation. But this is why Kel's career took such a sharp detour in his life. And now that he's exorcised those demons out of his life, or the demon out of his life, things can move on. And don't forget, there was a time where he had a VHS cassette recorder and caught you in a hotel with another guy, a guy that was in the group, the guy who you allegedly was pregnant by later on. So, like I said, Tyisha is a liar. She is a professional liar, like pathologically a liar. So anything she says, she's exaggerating it, and it basically is like this cap on my head. Don't even believe it, because that woman, it needs help. She needs Jesus bad. Anyway, I'm out. Will it be a Patreon version? Absolutely. Absolutely, there will be a Patreon version of this. You don't even have to ask it. But yes, there will be a Patreon version because I did a lot of biting on my tongue. So yeah, I will not be as nice on the Patreon version. I'm out.